Hello, everyone. Good to see everyone tonight. Hello and welcome. This is Star Ravenhawk, and my partner in crime, Rhonda Allen, is not with us tonight. She will be back next week. But we have a pleasure of having IYA IFASEESIN with us tonight. So please hold on one moment. Welcome, IYA.
Well,
How are you? Good to see you tonight.
good to see you too. Thank you for the invite.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure having you here. So, before we begin, as per usual, we are proud to have you here, Iya Ifa Shane, with us tonight. I am going to read your bio and explain and introduce everyone to who you are.
Okay.
I began my spiritual journey trying to find answers to the questions of who am I, why am I here, what is my purpose. I began by studying Reiki and became a master teacher. During that time, I was introduced to the Kemetic studies and began studying under Dr. Sebe Ma and Dr. Sabe Daja of Shetat Nita. I also became introduced to and became a master teacher of Ra Sheki, Kemetic Reiki. In 2013, I met my godmother, Iya Nifa Oyadel Ogonsina, and began studying Ifa. In 2017, I earned my bachelor's in metaphysics and became an ordained minister through the University of Sedona. I was traditionally initiated to Yemaya in 2018 in California by my godmother, Oluwu, the former Araba of the Ikiti state. Kabeye, Kabesi Chief Bode Fasuyi. Apologies if I have bastardized that, so sorry. In October 2023, I was initiated to Ifa by Kabiyishi, Chief Bode Fasuyi in California. I became Iya Nifa Ifa Shin Odunjo Ogunsina. You can call me Iya or Motulo. I am currently working on my Doctor of Divinity degree through University of Sedona. Iya Umitola is a womb and spiritual counselor, doula, childbirth educator, herbalist, yoni steam practitioner, Reiki and Rei Saki, master teacher and oracle reader. Welcome. That was such a that was a wonderful, wonderful explanation and bio of you. It is such a pleasure having you with us here tonight. So, how
It's a
are
pleasure
you?
to be here. I am doing very well. I appreciate you asking. I appreciate you having me on the show. And I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome, awesome. So, because I'm alone tonight, I am going to right away put you with your the lovely information that you would see running across here every now and then about how to access Iya in the future. Okay? So, everyone, I would like you to know that we're about to ask her some amazing questions. So, you're going to love the answers that she has to say. So, one of the things that we start off with is kind of asking you to kind of do the arc of your journey from where you began and the name that you called yourself. Because, as you now said, you're now Iya Ifashin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ifashesin. Am I
Mm-hmm.
sorry saying it wrong again? Right? I'm so sorry. So, as the different names that you went through and what they entailed to where you are now.
Wow. Okay, so that's a journey. Okay. So I'm a little old Southern girl, and I was raised in the church.
Okay.
I'm from a very small town in Georgia where my family helped to build the church, and
Ah,
I come from a long line of pastors and deacons and first ladies and choir
wow. Wow.
directors and all that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I grew up in the church, Bible study, Sunday school, choir
Oh, wow.
practice. If you lived in my aunt's house, you was in church.
Okay.
Um, and I've always loved the music, but unfortunately, that's where my love for it stopped. So, because I love music.
Right.
Um, I think I was always on a journey of trying to understand myself and what my purpose was. I
Mm.
remember describing my life as being on the dock, and every time I tried to get my foot on the boat, it just kept going past me. Like I just kept
Right.
missing it.
Right.
Um, and I credit my oldest daughter for helping me with my journey because as raising her in the beginning of her life, I was doing to her what my family did to me. Oh, you gonna get up on Sunday morning and go to church? And my daughter was like, I'm just gonna have to take this butt whooping because I ain't going to no church.
Right. Right.
And then I finally had to ask myself, why am I doing it? Because I don't get anything out of it. And that's when I started going on a journey of what spirituality looked like for me, what my relationship to God meant for me.
Right. Right.
And so I did a lot of research. I'm not one to just go into things blindly. And I did a lot of research. So I was looking at Rastafari. I looked at the Hebrew Israelites. Um, and I did a lot of research into what they were saying in their theology. And then I came across Ifa. I kept hearing that I was a child of Yemoja,
Right.
but I didn't know what that was. But at the same time, I kind of felt like that's where I needed to be, but I didn't have a teacher at the time. And
Right.
I found the Kemetic tradition, and it was something about Dr. Mawata Ashby, which is Sebai Ma, that just drew me to him.
Right.
And then I started going to his temple, and it gave me a lot of discipline. It taught me about eating, it taught me about meditation, it taught me how to communicate with spiritual elders. But the spiritual practice itself didn't really do anything for me because they deal a lot in parables. I don't want to figure out what you're saying to me, just say what you got to say. I don't do riddles. So and there was a lot that didn't speak to me, and
Right.
it didn't feel like it really connected me
Mm-hmm.
to what it was that I was trying to connect to.
Right.
um, when I moved up here in, I want to say 2013, I met this lady through another sister of mine. And the first time I met her, it was something that drew me to her.
Right.
And years later, I found out that Oya, which is her spiritual head, told her that I'm sending you a Yemoja and I'm sending you a Oya. And she
Oh
said
wow.
when she saw me, she was like, that's my Yemoja. But at the same time, she was like, I ain't taking no godchildren. Don't ask me. I don't want to be bothered. And then the young lady that I met her, and I'm speaking of my godmother, who's been my godmother since 2013,
Right.
Ianifa Oyadeli. And the young lady invited me to a misa, and that's where you talk to your ancestors. She called my mother by her name.
Oh wow.
She channeled my mother by her name. I didn't know her. We had never had a conversation. Even the young lady that I was with, I had never spoke to her about my mother, the desire to go to Africa, any of that. Nor did I tell her the name that my father and my siblings called me, because my birth name is Kim, and so everybody called me Kimmy, but nobody knew that.
Right.
And
Right.
all of these things came out of her
Hmm.
mouth,
Wow.
and I'm sitting there looking at her like,
Who are you? What are you doing?
yeah, like where have you? And I've been attached to her hip ever since then.
Awesome.
The very first divination she did for me, she confirmed that I was a child of Yemoja, and she said that I needed to be initiated to her. I wasn't
Okay.
trying to be initiated. I was like, I'm not doing all that.
Okay. All right.
I
Well, so,
wasn't. I wasn't trying because I didn't know what that meant. You know what
right.
I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, initiated. We'll see what happens. Um, so I held off for about 3 years, and the longer that I held off, I started getting headaches. And my godmother was like, every reading, you need to get initiated. You need to get initiated. And it kept getting stronger and stronger to the point where I finally got initiated. So
Okay.
I got initiated to Yemoja. Now, my godmother, when she gave me my lekes, she gave me a Yoruba name. She asked me if I wanted to take on a Yoruba name, and she named me Omitola. And Omitola means water is wealth. So Omitola Yajita
Ah,
Okina. So water
okay.
is wealth, an image of my mother. And I love the name so much that I had my name legally changed
Oh, wow.
to
That is,
Omitola.
yeah.
And usually when you become initiated, you get a new name. But when my Alobu, her Alobu divined on it, um, the name did not need to be changed. So that
There you
just sat
go.
on
There
for
you
her
go.
ashe. So my name was not changed during my Yemoja initiation.
Wow.
So I became Ianifa Ifa Shasin when I this year when I
Right.
went to my Ifa initiation in October.
Right.
And I always I make this joke because the way it's spelled is spelled Ifa and I told my godmother, I'm like, are they coming for me? Like, why? But it's pronounced Ifa Shasin, and it means Ifa.
Ifashesin. Yeah.
Yes, it's basically Ifa is easy to worship. It's
Right. Right.
an honor
Right.
to worship Ifa. And
Right.
so with the crown of Ianifa comes a heavy responsibility because that is the highest crown a woman
Right.
can receive. So at this moment in
Wow.
my new level of initiation, my job at this point is to learn, is to
Right.
be humble and sit at my godmother's feet because she does make it look very easy.
They usually do. They
Yes,
usually do.
and
And
she
people
comes.
think I can do that too. And they realize it is a lot of responsibility.
It is. And I know she tells me one day you're going to be a godmother. And I'm like, no, one day I'm not. That's not going to happen. Absolutely not.
You
But
never know.
that's what she says. But I'm very blessed to be where I am. And since being with
Yeah.
her, my life has done nothing but go up.
Advanced. Right.
So I've
So,
been very blessed with that.
right. Right. So I'm going to kind of take you. I'm not sure if it sounds like you may have answered this already, but what would you say brought you to the world of where you are right now? But I think part of that you answered kind of because a lot of things took you there and but is there anything in particular that you'd say that gave you that impetus to leave the church maybe or whatever?
I think the biggest thing with leaving mainstream churches, I don't feel like my spirit was being fed. And
There you go.
this is not bashing the church because I believe it's good for
Stuff,
those
yeah.
who, right, there are those in the church who get what
Yes,
they
they
need
get
for their
something from
spirit.
it. Yes.
Exactly. But it wasn't feeding my spirit. It
Right.
wasn't it I love the music because I've always been a child of music. I love singing.
Right.
But it's like beyond that, I think it gave me more questions than answers
Okay.
as to what my purpose was, what my
And
purpose is, and my connection to everything that's around me.
right.
Um, and then just feeling that God is something that is outside of you as opposed to all around you and within.
Right. Right.
So being able to get into a tradition that not only gives you that but also helps you feel a connection to your surroundings, to nature,
So it
to your
empowers you.
ancestors. It empowers you
Right. Right. Awesome. So, from your point of view, what does it mean to be that type of Ifa?
to be an Ianifa.
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Ooh, child. Um, I'm still figuring that out. I think, like I said, I think at this point in my initiation, it is to sit and be still. Because, like I said, I was just initiated in October. And so with being an ENIFA comes a whole different level of education.
Right.
It comes a whole different level of responsibilities. So one thing that you don't want to do is just, oh, I have this title now, I'm going to jump out and just start doing these things, because you can mess somebody's life up. You can mess somebody's spiritual journey up, and you can give them a very bad taste of the religion, because now they done mess with somebody janky. Everybody in the religion is janky and they ain't messing with it no more.
Right.
So at this point, what it means to me is just humility and learning.
Okay. And that's a wise thing too. I've always believed that whatever tradition or whatever it is you practice, it should never stop learning. You
Mhm.
don't know. I don't care who you are, what you study. no one person knows everything, and that they should keep still learning
Correct.
constantly. You
Correct.
know, it's never, and that it never stops because you don't
Hmm.
know everything. Okay, so tell us a little bit about what you think is important to you in general or right now.
In general, right now, I've always been told by spirit that my life is to be a life of service.
Okay.
Um, being present for others as well as myself, always being present for myself, but also being in a position where I can um, be there to be of service for others, because there are certain things that happen in my life that put me in a position of being able to empathize with people who are going through stuff,
Right.
being able to provide safe spaces for people who need to find a way to create something better for them, and to be able to do it in a way that is not judgmental, and share certain aspects of my life that will allow them to understand. I tell everybody I done seen it all. If I ain't done it, I know somebody who did it. So there's not much out there that surprises me, disgusts me, you know what I'm saying? Because I
Right.
know I know we're just human beings.
Right. Right.
And so I just feel like it's important for me at this time to just step into that role and step
Mm.
into it fully and fulfill what it is I'm supposed to be fulfilling. So being
Right.
there,
Right.
my calling has always been for women and children.
Ah, okay. All right. So it kind of that actually kind of segues into the next question. Tell us about what is it about the community and you that you would like to see accomplished.
I would like to see in our community, just say really as Black folks in general, I would like to see us have a broader understanding of spirituality and not
Right.
just paint it with, oh, it's supposed to be this way.
Right.
Because I believe that we all are looking for the same thing. We just
Right.
take different paths. And even the word for God is different in each language. So
Right.
my Olodumare is your Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
the only thing that really separates us is language. And really if you can take man out the equation, usually when you put man in the equation with spirituality, that's when things start getting icky. If you can stick with the source
Right.
of it and understand, I would like to just see us all just have a broader understanding that there are different ways to get to the divine.
Right. Right. And see a bigger picture altogether, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so what would you like to see that you're not seeing right now, the community accomplish, to take you forward, like to not stay so stagnant?
Mm. I think the same thing, acceptance, not tolerance. I don't want to be tolerated. I want to be left alone. Let me do me.
Right,
Let
right,
let people be free to express themselves. Let people be free to have safe spaces, to not be judged, to be able to be who they are in the open,
right.
and
Without being judged, like you
what
said.
exactly without being judged. I don't like that there are people who can't step into their truth even when they walk out the door and into the world. And that's one thing that I have been blessed with, because even the people that I work with, they know who I am. And I
Right,
don't need to, throw it in their face. It's just who I am.
right,
And so I've always been blessed to just be able to say, this is it, this is what you get, and have family, friends, and support system. But I do know that there are women who don't have that.
right,
And I
right.
would like to see us be able to just step out and be ourselves and stand in our truth and have a full life doing it.
And that's kind of difficult, especially as we watching the world right now.
Hmm.
I don't know, man.
I know it is. This is a scary time, to be honest with you.
It is honestly because it makes us, they're othering too many people, and so
Hmm.
you're kind of saying they're gonna come for them, and then eventually they're gonna get to us. You know what
Yes.
I mean? So you it's beginning to feel a bit unsafe, like we've taken a step back, like many steps back in time.
Yeah,
So
and I would like to see more of us come together. and understand that we really don't have a different agenda. We all have the same thing, and finding a way to work together,
Right,
because
right.
there's power in numbers. And for people to understand that there are more of us in the community. And, like we were saying earlier, we get up, we have jobs, we're taking care of our children, we're cleaning our house, we're paying bills.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So there's really a lot that is so much the same,
Right.
and it's ignorance that just divides us.
Ignorance and egos,
Yes,
unfortunately.
yes.
Egos play too much of a big part in a lot of it, which I find very sad, because it feels like, I think in general, it feels like if we can do this, if we choose to, you know what I mean? If we choose to see ourselves for who we are and accept everybody just as they are without judgment.
Hmm.
But yeah, that ego part is very hard.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So, one of the other things I would like to ask is, what projects are you working on right now or thinking about?
Well, Daughters of the Moon is coming back. I had to take
Okay.
a break last year,
Right.
but Daughters of the Moon is coming back. So we're having our annual convention.
Mm-hmm.
I believe October 26th is what I have on the website.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Okay. So tell
so
us a little about that.
well, Daughters of the Moon, I started in 2016. It was
Mm-hmm.
only supposed to be a one-time thing.
Right.
And it started with me. I was finishing another project, Enter the Womb.
Right.
And we did one the year before, and I was getting ready to do a second one.
Mm-hmm.
And there were certain things that weren't lining up. So I canceled it. The young
Okay.
lady that I was working with at the time, she's actually the co-founder of Daughters of the Moon, named Anne.
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
told her, I said, I had a dream and I feel like we need to do this. The dream that I had is I was surrounded by 9 women and there was one in the center.
Wow. Okay.
And basically, they told me, this is what you're going to do. So I said, okay, we need to do this. Let's find
Right.
someplace small. I was expecting maybe 10, 20 people to come out that day. When we got there, the line was around the block.
Hey, my goodness. That I'm so
And
happy for that.
we had women that had traveled from the Bahamas
Oh,
to
wow.
be
That
there.
is so awesome.
And that was our first Daughters of the Moon. So we came back. We extended it from just a 1 day event to a 3 day event, which is a lot of work.
Right.
Um,
It is.
so
Believe me, I know.
yeah, it's a lot of work trying to plan a 3 day convention. Um, so we are moving it back to a 1 day convention,
Right.
to keep it very basic, very simple. The more days you have, then people have to spend a lot more money. And with inflation and everything going on, I don't want to be dragging people's wallets or people be disappointed because they can't make it because it's such an expensive event.
Right.
So we're doing a 1 day event. It's
Right.
going to be Saturday only. And it's going to follow basically the same format that we always follow. We'll have workshops, keynote speakers, vendors there. I'll be doing a presentation as well. The purpose of Daughters of the Moon is to bring Black women together so that they can understand that what we're practicing, be it root work, hoodoo, African traditional religion, nature based, whether if you don't want to label yourself in, these are not new age. This is stuff
Right.
that comes from our ancestors.
Right.
The
Right.
reason why we focus on Black women and we made this a collective for Black women is because a lot of times, a lot of our sisters who have gone over to other spaces, they don't tend to understand the African deities. I even read somewhere a book that was written where they said our deities died during the transatlantic slave trade. They didn't make it over
Excuse
here.
me.
Exactly.
Excuse
So and even with the
me.
concept of Eshu in my religion, he's considered the devil, and we don't have.
A devil.
Right. So just being able to create a space where they're safe, they can learn about their culture. They can learn not only Ifa, but there's a Khan, there's Vodou, there's the Kemetic tradition. There's so many things that they can have the ability to tap into. We don't mix like a melting pot. We're not taking pieces and making a new religion. That's one thing I always stress. We're not a religion. We are an organization, a community for
Right.
women to come and learn. So you might meet somebody who is an initiated mambo who can talk to you about Vodun, and you might decide that you want to practice that. You
Right.
learn it from somebody who's initiated. We've had many women join my godmother's Ile because they found access to a woman who knew Ifa,
Right.
and they became her godchild through divination. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So what Daughters of the Moon is, it provides access for
Kind of
Black
like a giant networking of everything all together.
exactly.
And they come together
Exactly.
and they could finally say, okay, this is for me with
Yes.
informed information. Right. And
Because what
prevent
I
all the
found
disinformation, you know?
because what I found in working with women and the womb work, I had women who were coming to me and saying, "Oh, I have dreams, but I can't tell nobody because my husband is the deacon in the church. Oh, I see my grandmother, but I can't tell nobody because I got to go teach Sunday school.
Right.
I
They're
can't.
fighting, right? They're fighting that other
Exactly.
one. Yeah.
Exactly. And so the purpose is to create a safe space. And sometimes for most women, that one day or that 3 days with Daughters of the Moon is the only time they get to come out and be in their truth.
Right. Right.
This is the only opportunity they have to
To
network, and
get
they
to
can talk
do that.
about
Right.
meditation and crystals and Reiki and ancestral veneration and
Right.
all
Right.
of these things and not feel like they're weirdos.
Right, right. And it's such a shame that you only have to do it one day. But I know what you mean, you know.
Mhm.
It's difficult
Yes.
to do that, you know. Because I do events myself, so I know how you feel. But
Mhm.
it's a shame because someone coming like maybe from the Bahamas again or something to come for one day, it's difficult. You know what I
Well,
mean? But
what we are
it's
going to do
simple.
this year is we're also going to stream it. So if
Oh,
people want
awesome.
to,
I'll say. Yeah.
yeah, so if people want to have online access, they're more than welcome to. They won't be able to see everything, but we will have some things exclusive for our online people. So our goal is just to try to get people to understand that, we are in every walk of life, even in the church.
Right,
We are
right.
in every walk of life. And in our tradition, especially in the South, they'll go to church on Sunday, but they want some work done. They go into that root person on the corner
Yeah, yeah,
after church so they can
absolutely.
go get some work done.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure having you with us. And this is so much information. Again, as you guys can see, her information is right across the screen. And if you guys want to get in touch with her, again, if you can repeat for them when your event is being for.
Our event for Daughters of the Moon is going to be October. Let me look at my thing. I think it's October 26th, and it's going to be in Baltimore. You can visit the website to keep up with the information as we will be posting it. We will be posting. I'm sorry, I can't do two things at once. I'm trying to pull up my
That's okay. I
website.
understand. I understand
Um,
entirely.
we will be posting updates regarding the convention and when it's going to take place. So, yes, Saturday, October 26th is going to be at 10 a.m. And it's going to be in Baltimore. We're in the process of locking down a location now. And I am looking forward to seeing everybody there. I didn't realize how many people were going to be so excited that we're coming back.
Oh,
So
awesome. Awesome.
I'm very honored by that.
I'm so proud of you all and wish you all good luck with it. And we wanted to thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure. I really appreciate it.
All righty. So, everyone, hold on. We're going to have a word from our sponsor. All right, everyone, it's astrology time. And again, we wanted to thank Iya for being with us today. Um, okay, so as we began with the last set of times that we worked with you guys, we were talking about the decans and the tarot and the modalities. And now today we're going to continue with the tarot. And tonight we're working with the three of them tonight: Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. All right. So for all of you who are born September 23rd to the 30th, Libra Decan 1. The tarot card associated with this decan is the Two of Swords. So let me see my Two of Swords. There it is. The Two of Swords. So this Two of Swords often indicates arguments between people who are being rigid and unyielding. If you look at it, both sides are locked in battle. There is little room for forgiveness and no sign of a thaw. This argument could go on for years, literally, and taint generations to come. Kind of think of the McCoys and the Hatfields, I think it was, that famous one of the families fighting, that kind of a thing. Okay. So people need to lay down their weapons and open their heart to forgiveness. Okay. And someone will be brave. Hopefully, people will be brave enough to sort it out and work it through. Karmically, this shows the polarity of Aries to Libra, where Libra is the other, the balancing of the scales, indicating and finding a compromise in this lifetime to extremism in the past. So they're willing to go past that extremism and work forward. And the key things for this card and what it means to Libra, the Can ones, are mental decisions, stressful, painful decisions that you've had to make, maybe cross purposes, and maybe, again, that battling, torn between two loyalties and relationships, having a stalemate, sitting maybe in denial and wanting you to face your fears and being blind to the truth, gaslighting, or any of those things. So think of the pains and hurts from the past that possibly be affecting you now. And you're caught in the middle because your heart has been closed off. So we want you to work on that. Okay. So think about that. All right. So the next one is for those who are born October 1st to the 10th. Decan, Libra Decan 2. And the tarot card with this decan is the Three of Swords. Let me find that Three of Swords now. Three of Swords, Three of Swords. Here we go. I didn't want to take too long finding it, so I'm glad I found it quickly. Wow. Okay, take a look at that. The Three of Swords. Okay. And this tarot card that's associated with that, it is one of the most upsetting cards in the deck. But it has to fit somewhere. So it is really not surprising that it should fall into the decan that houses the crafty crow. Again, I must stress that your chart is more than just one decan. The karmic lesson here may include sorrow, some heartbreak, a bit like decan 1 because you've kind of closed your heart off, love triangles maybe. And this decan also is ruled by Saturn in both systems, so has quite a heavy karmic burden to carry. So the lesson here is that any gold digging or gigolo behavior here will come with a massive price tag. It is your choice whether you turn away from the trinkets or not. Release is key with the Three of Swords. A great sorrow, usually rooted in the karmic past, is often indicated. So, painful memories can be heavily repressed. The Three of Swords highlights the need to let go of old pains and hurts as they are bound to be affecting you now in the present. It is a time to talk about them. You see all of that? It's a time to talk about them in this lifetime. You must open up and let it out before it poisons you from within. Allow yourself to forgive and be forgiven. Okay? It's a two-way street. The key things for this card and what it means to Libra Decan 2s: heartbreak, tears, deep sadness, trauma that may have happened, grief expressed, and you need emotional release. So pour your heart out. time to talk and cry. That love triangle, get detangled from it unless it's something that you're all consenting to together so no one gets hurt. Deep issues, getting to the heart of the matter, and communication breakdown. You want to be able to start up again. Lots of misunderstandings, gross misunderstandings, actually. Okay? Arguments, angry words being said. And you're going to have a painful growth and hard lessons to learn. Okay? And some of you may have some surgery that you have coming up or going on right now also. But again, you have got to do something about it in this lifetime. Okay? All right. So, Libra Decan 3, those born October 11th to the 22nd. And that's the Four of Swords. If you give me one moment, let me see if I can find the Four of Swords here quickly. Queen, 9, 4. Here we go. The Four of Swords. All right. You see that one? The Four of Swords. And this card, it's associated with mental exhaustion and retreat. This is really not surprising since one of this decan's theme is perfecting the intellect. Natural talent gushes out of them, and they can easily burn themselves out. The decan's rulers reflect the need for higher wisdom and mental agility. Karmically, the Four of Swords carries a very real warning of the consequences of not taking care of your mental health during stressful times. If you are coping at present, then this card suggests that you are close to the edge. And if you do not take the necessary steps to take a break, then it may very well be forced upon you and give you no choice but to do what it has to do. It warns of the potential for mental breakdowns, medically and otherwise, and you may need care and even hospitalization if you don't take care of it. So you are being warned with this. You are being asked to think about it. Generally, this is a positive decan with the fixed star speaker at the center of it. But these brilliant souls will learn in this lifetime that they must take care of their physical body as well as their brain. Okay? Because they can't just stick in their heads the whole time. And the key things for this card and what it means to Libra Decans 3 is, again, mental exhaustion, stress, being overwhelmed, feeling like you need to retreat or time out. Healing, again, it's going to force you to do that. Remember that. Okay? Giving you some peace and quiet, solitude. This is all the things that you require right now. Preparation, sleeping on your problems, maybe, and saying basically you can handle it, but it's not letting you sleep even through those problems. So you need to regroup, come to terms with things, and do some self-protection. Prioritize your health, okay? Your spiritual counseling as well. So your health and your spirituality are a big deal because you're going to need spiritual support as well. Keeping the faith and stop confining yourselves to these boxes that you put yourself in. Okay? Otherwise, it's going to cause illness. Some even coma or hospitalization or intensive care. Okay? Some of the things that would help you, or for some of you that are doing it already, might be death doulas, working with the dead or the dying. Okay? Some of you might be doing end of life crisis or things like that. As you're doing those things, if you note, when you do those things, you have got to take care of you. Sorry. You have got to take care of you, okay? Self-care is a big deal when you do that as a death doula or end-of-life caregiver, all right? So work on some meditation, spiritual support, healing yourself, okay? And not being in your head only, okay? All right. Scorpio. Okay, now the Scorpio Decan 1s. Those of you born October 23rd to the 31st. This decan is associated with the card Five of Cups. So let me see if I can find my Five of Cups. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Five of Cups. I love this card. Look at this. And this is the Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. Okay, I love this card. This deck, working with this deck, period. Okay, so this decan is associated with this card, the Five of Cups. Its divinatory meaning brings sorrow, loss, grief, and suffering. Its very presence indicates that you have suffered a crushing blow on an emotional level. We must all learn to accept loss as part of life, yet we flail and we rail against it, acting as if life should only be, I guess, giggles only or full laughter or any of those things. Okay. And we have to realize it's not, life is not only that. Okay. Um, so we must all learn to accept that there is loss. We must trust that once we are prepared to let it go, the universe will replace our loss with something of worth and real value. Okay. Cups are usually more positive in their meanings. So this is an unusually melancholic image for this seat. Okay. However, it is very much fits the somber mood and bittersweet vibe of this decan. Loss is echoed in the crucifixion, but there's also that hope of renewal when the universe brings in a new love to fill the void that has been left behind. Okay? So the key things for this card and what it means to Scorpio Decans ones are impermanence, okay? Meaning nothing is permanent. So there is an unhappy change, the loss, the grief, that trauma we spoke about, right? Feeling bereft or a sense of despair, and the mourning, the letting go, sadness, deep sorrow. Your heart is broken and you feel inconsolable because it's such traumatic loss to you. It may have been a sudden loss, so part of that is that, or even the ones that you expect, it still feels sudden when that loss is greatly happened, especially when it's more recent than you think. Okay. In some people, you'll find their spirit gets broken. They may become a bit unstable because it's a very painful time. Okay. And regret and shame is involved, guilt, maybe self blame. There's a lot of emotional baggage there, and wallowing in that grief, being withdrawn from others, and you need their support. So focusing on your past too much, focusing on the loss too much, and it makes you feel defeated or deflated. Okay. So you don't, some of it also could be a separation with divorce, or goodbyes, abandonment, losing out, a loneliness that feels comes over you because of it, and the isolation that you put yourself in. And you may feel a sense of alienation as well. Some of it is self-imposed. So you exile yourself and separate yourself from others. But we need you to readjust all of that, okay? And realize that nothing is permanent, nothing is set in stone. So all is not lost. Reach out for support, take that anger and do something else with it. Neutralize it and come back for yourself, because you need to be able to survive for yourself. Okay? So all that strong emotions and all the what ifs and if onlys, you done whatever. And that's old saying of crying over spilt milk. Whatever it is, think of things that you want to bring forth instead, the inheritance or the legacy you want to create for yourself, and move up from there. Let it all go. Use that water behind her and let her send it out into the water and neutralize it. Okay? And work from there. All right? So that's the cups, the 5 of cups. Okay. So for Scorpio Decan 2, those born November 1st to the 11th, the tarot card with this decan is surprisingly quite a light-hearted and affectionate one. It's the 6 of Cups. So let me see if I can find my 6 of Cups. Hold on 1 second. 6 of Cups, 6 of Cups. There we go. The 6 of Cups. Okay. Look at that. See all that offerings and happiness there, the 6 of Cups. The imagery in this card is that of children, a boy offering a gift to a girl. It is an image of childhood memories. The optimistic card is supported by the sun and Jupiter rulership of this decan. After times of loss, sadness, or despair, we often take comfort and solace from familiar places and those we have known the longest, such as old friends and family. You will find support there. We crave what is secure and steady as we have coped with enough change for the moment. And the key things for this card and what it means to Scorpio Decans twos is emotional security, being cared for, giving and receiving, and openness, sharing, goodwill, kindness, charity, gifts, blessings going back and forth. Simple things that gives you joyfulness or happiness, helping others maybe, peace, harmony, feeling protected and guarded by maybe another person, or even feeling so secure in yourself that you can guard and protect yourself. So there's a calmness and a contentment about it, a sanctuary, that fortress of security. Um, if you feel a bit of restricted freedom, move around, be predictable. There's a bit of predictability there, but that's okay. The past influences the future as well. There's a bit of nostalgia, longing, yearning, a bit of homesickness as well. But it's all because you want to be on familiar ground. You love that time of when everything felt so calm and quiet and nice and happy and protected. That trust of what you had as a child. Okay. Or if not, even for some of you as a child, because not everyone's childhood is filled with all of that trust. There is some part where you can do it for yourself at some age. You find that time and you hold on to that. Whether it's in the youthful times or whatever it is. Take a trip down memory lane. Create a homestead for yourself, old friends, old haunts, old memories that give you happiness. The good old days that passed, or the childhood issues. If there are any childhood issues of abuse or anything like that, letting it go, bringing it up so that you can neutralize it, so you can move on. Okay. Some of you might be heading into that older times in your life of old age, senility, maybe nursing homes or nurseries. Any of those things that's happening, it's going to be bringing you back through that time of innocence and protection. All right. So there's that for that one. Okay. Scorpio Decan threes. This Scorpio is the Seven of Cups. I know I just saw the Seven of Cups. Hold on. Seven of Cups. Here it is. I knew I had just seen it. Okay. I love this card. Okay. So this decan, the Seven of Cups are both Venus and the Moon as rulers and are reflective and passive planets. This resonates well with the card's divinatory meanings, which are, as he stands mesmerized in the front, okay? He stands in front of the seven cups. He realizes he has much to contemplate and reflect on. You could be attending counseling or psychotherapy sessions to help expose hidden motives and overcome childhood conditioning to expose your true personality. Then again, you may also be using meditation or reading self-help books in an attempt to find your true self. So the key things with this card and what it means to Libra Decans 3 is all about you soul searching, finding out where you fit in, self-examination, finding yourself, know thyself, self-understanding, that personal fulfillment that comes with it, and searching for your purpose in life. Fill your emotional needs, being honest with yourself. That's something that's hard for a lot of people. Being honest with yourself, your priorities, hidden identities, integrating into things and enlightenment, meditation, using your imagination, daydreaming, creating some fantasies and illusions for yourself. Some hallucinations might also be in play. So be careful and wary about that. But some of the things that you have is your procrastination. And you need to not be there in that procrastination any further. And look at things more like multiple choices. See the Seven of Cups as multiple choices, options, opportunities, decisions that you have to make, choosing, picking, selecting, excessive things that you have to choose from. So it's a bit of an overindulging, but and don't go to any addictions of any kind, okay? And don't self-neglect. Don't get lazy and lethargic or apathy. Letting everything go is not also very good for you. So don't retreat like that and don't withdraw. Use the opportunities that are there. Make some decisions and strive forward for yourself. Okay? Okay. So Sagittarius Decan 1 is next. And that one is for those born November 23rd to the 30th. And the card for this decan is the Eight of Wands. Let me see what I got here with the wands. Hold on. The Eight of Wands, right? Okay, hold on. 7, 3, 10, 2. Give me 1 second, okay? Eight of Wands. Oh, here we go. There it is. I was like, where is it? Where is it? Okay, look at this card. The Eight of Wands. You can see the intensity of this decan reflected in the frenzy of this card, right? Mercury and Jupiter as rulers show the desire to juggle many opportunities at once. Look at all of that. 8 different things. Things are beginning to move into action now as adrenaline fuels your system. It is time to make a move, so get going. Okay, you must now strike while the iron is hot and when you are so enthusiastic. You have real momentum building behind you. So all you have to do is take the first step and it will snowball after that. Each opportunity will appear exciting and wonderful. Each will be hard to resist, but it will not be possible to take them all on board. Okay? Realize that and take your choice. And the key things for this card and what it means to Sagittarius Decan ones is a lot of hard work paying off for you. You've completed a lot of things. Things have come to conclusions and you've had solutions with certain things and results. Okay? You're in the lead of things. You're ahead of the field. You're in a very strong positions with the wind behind you, pushing you forward. You're going to think on your feet and you kind of up and away and taking off. You have you're going to come together with others with things that you have in common. Okay, anything well matched, speed, action, movement, activity, all of that. Haste, hurry, rushing forward. You created that momentum and you mobilize yourself and you need to keep it going. That energy, keep it busy and that positive energy, activity, everything. So you're going to jump in and you're going to springboard and shoot for what you need to do. But again, you cannot possibly take on all of it at once or you'll be dropping the ball. So you choose maybe one or two that you know you can accomplish or one at a time and you do that and get going with it and have those goals realized. Maybe you do those things one at a time and you get them all done anyways, but back to back. Okay, but certainly not all at once. You want to do it as stress-free as possible with as least trouble as possible. And you have, so that you're doing it more with freedom and happiness. So you're not holding, you've come so far and then to turn it into something that's bogging you down. You don't want to do that. Okay, so don't become too obsessed with it. Okay, and move forward, travel across the pond maybe, any exciting news for yourself and you keep that going and you might be getting fame with it. Okay, so keep that in mind with a lot of things. Okay, so Sagittarius Decan 2, those of you born wands. Okay, those of you born December 1st to the 11th, and the tarot card with this decan is the Nine of Wands. So let me find my Nine of Wands. Of course, I'm seeing everything else but that. Oh, here we go. Nine of Wands. Okay. Look at that. The Nine of Wands. You are committed to a cause and you're prepared to do anything for it. Look at you. Moving forward and doing what you have to do. The Nine, okay, of Wands. You are going to take this all the way and nothing or no one is going to stop you. You are determined to be the last man standing, the lone soldier, and know that you have the stamina it requires to resist and overcome all opposition. Stoic and enduring, your strength and beliefs are admirable indeed. This card describes the feeling of being willing to stand alone and be exiled if the cause is a righteous one. It shows the positive side of Sagittarius Decan 2 in that it would rather be ethical and honest than popular. That is quite a stand to take. And the key things with this card and what it means to Sagittarians Decan 2 is because they're wary of things and they're anxious, they're guarded, they've been wounded. They're on the lookout. They're constantly on alert. They're expecting trouble. So they're on guard. They're on duty at all time. That only soldier, that hero, that patriot, that veteran. A lot of times they're people who are veterans or ex-soldiers, but yet still they feel like they still need to be on guard. Okay? They have true grit. They're experienced with showing some backbone, and they're willing to train people in that regard too if persons want the to be trained. Wait and see and be patient. You would persevere if you persist, but it takes all of your stamina and the hidden reserves that you have, that inner strength that you have, that force of will and conviction, that determination, and you'll create that fortress of defense and protection. So stay tough and do that one last stand. So you're not beaten yet, okay? Even though you're holding back the enemy, holding out, get up and fight your corner. Your battles are ongoing battles. They're battles and conflict coming to an end. So don't be caught off guard, okay? Your enemies will try to tread carefully with opposition and challenges that they will try to throw at you and try to still setbacks, but it's not working out as planned, okay? So you have a lot of introspection and reflection and strong competition, but it's okay to stand alone and fighting for your cause. Stand your higher ground, your principles, and know that you are righteous with it. Back up your support, even if you're alone, okay? And try not to be too paranoid or suspicious of every and anything, and realize that you have made some mistakes as well, okay? Don't allow any burdens to overrule you, and don't allow yourself to be so solitary all the time. If you can, share the burden so you're not so fatigued, okay? All right, so you can do this. All right, now Sagittarius Decan threes, those born December 12th to the 22nd. This decan is the 10 of Wands. I just saw the 10 of Wands. The 10 of... Hold on 1 second. Picked up the wrong ones for a minute there. Looking for the 10 of Wands, the 3, page 5, 4, ace, 10. There we go. So sorry. Okay, the 10 of Wands. Look at that card. Okay. The 10 of Wands can suggest that someone has put a saddle on your back and will ride you to hell if they want. They may see you as a workhorse and take advantage of your good nature and willingness to help. You may be given the hardest and messiest tasks to carry out, and because you are obliging and successfully complete them, more and more is then asked of you. This being the tropical sign of the archer, the workhorse metaphor is quite appropriate. Okay, the trusting nature too is shown, and the Saturn rulership gives the strong work ethic also. It seems that these folk either work extremely hard or zone out altogether when they're working. So the key things for this card and what it means to Sagittarius Decan threes is you're on the home stretch. You're nearly there, nearly home and dry. Keep your head down and keep going. One final push. Success is almost yours. The end is in sight. Don't get too overburdened. Don't overextend yourself. Do not allow them to take advantage of your good nature. Okay? You don't want to feel weighed down and any arduous tasks that keep going on and on. Don't allow yourself to take on too much more than you need to or that you can handle. Okay? You're doing your share. Being pushed too far or overtaxed does not help you. Or doing it all yourself. Okay? Delegate. Okay? Take huge weight off of your shoulders and delegate. Okay? Do an immense with an immense effort and you're unable to see clearly, you might lose focus. You might lose sight or lose your way or slow progress if you don't delegate or do something differently with it. Okay? You don't want to have delays or be too exhausted or create it where it's like an uphill battle for you all the time. Okay? So prioritize, delegate again, share the responsibilities. Okay? And don't take on too much of others' problems. Okay? Don't feel obliged to do things. Don't allow your duty to overcommit yourself. because a lot of times you're unable to say no, and you need to be able to say no sometimes. Okay? Do not allow yourself to be taken for granted, because you'll be left saddled with a lot of things and holding that baby or holding whatever it is, or the information overload, stress, worries, and you don't want any of those things to happen. You don't want to go and burn out yourself and not have any fun or freedom. Okay? No more working overtime, and take your work home, and stop taking work home with you. Okay? So stop doing that to yourself. You're the one that's doing it to yourself, just so you know. Okay. So that's it for the 3 decans tonight. Okay. And what I want you guys to do is, hold on, let's do the tarot part. Okay, for the 3 signs tonight, Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarian, the cards that are yours, that tarot card that I told you were yours, that is your main card. That is you right now in the present. So don't forget, the homework for you guys to do is to shuffle the deck and pull one. Have that one card that's you, that represents you, and pull one card that will be your past, and then one card on the right of that card that you have that's you, and on the right that will be your future. So it will be past, present, and future, and you'll do the reading for you on that, and that should help guide you. Okay? So thank you all so much, and I hope you enjoyed the tarot and the astrology tonight. Okay, and again, we wanted to thank again Aya Omotula tonight for being with us. And next week, we want you guys to look forward, December 15th, to having our guest Francis Billinghurst with us. Okay? And we wanted to thank you all for being with us in the chat and for anywhere else. And don't forget to please like, subscribe, and share us on YouTube and Facebook in order for us to keep bringing you more of these shows. So see you all next time, and have a wonderful night. It's been a pleasure.